Hi, this is Terry Evans. I'm fascinated by the cocktail and craft distillery culture. While hosting the Alberta Spirits and Cocktail Festival in Edmonton, March 21st and 22nd, I was able to interview people from the industry who shared their knowledge and expertise. This bonus episode features David Scade from Black Diamond Distillery.
Reluctantly.
This podcast is brought to you by homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals, and Northern Alberta Heating. With work in and out of Edmonton, they're looking for sheet metal workers. Send resumes to tim@northernheating.ca. Now, let's get to the show.
Reluctantly.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Terry Evans from Terry Evans Distillery Discovery. And this time around, David from Black Diamond Distillery.com if you're online. And if you're not online, you can go and visit it in person in St. Albert. The very first distillery in St. Albert, is it not? David?
Yeah, first distillery in St. Albert. So we started that just a little more than 7 years ago. We just turned 7 in February.
So 7 years ago, that means 2018, 2019 sort of thing?
Yeah, it was 2018 when we started, yeah.
And did you start with, obviously there's certain spirits that have to be aged. So you're starting with what to begin your distillery?
Well, when we started with a line of liqueurs, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of liqueurs in the craft market in Alberta, and we saw it as sort of a niche market. And we were doing liqueurs when we were making the stuff at home and decided, okay, well, let's stick to the liqueurs. And then we branched out into the infused vodkas as well. So we've got a line of liqueurs. We have 7 different liqueurs, 6 different infused vodkas. We've got a straight vodka. We do a gin. We have an unaged whiskey as well. So we've branched out into a couple of different things. And over the last 4 or 5 years now, we've got a whole line of craft cocktails that are canned cocktails. 7 of those cocktails are boozy or alcoholic cocktails, and we have 6 that are zero proof cocktails. So we've dabbled into the non-alcoholic market as well.
The zero proof, as you call them, or non-alcoholic, are really catching on.
They are.
Especially as we're seeing more and more of a younger generation, baby boomers and Generation X or Z or whatever. I don't know what's it. But
Pick a letter, yeah.
the more recent ones, the 18 to 25-year-olds, the studies are showing that there's less alcohol consumption, so something like a zero proof cocktail is going to be beneficial to your outfit, right?
Yeah, it's actually exponentially increased every year that we've been making our zero proof stuff. We do one of our most popular cocktail that we do is called an Earl Grey Mule, and our zero proof mule is basically the same cocktail just without alcohol. It has almost caught up in sales to the regular mule, which is our best-selling cocktail that we do in cans. The zero proof market has been doing great. There you go. There's a fan. The zero proof market has been growing as we're seeing cannabis is, potentially playing a part in this, where the cannabis is growing in Alberta, and the alcohol consumption is starting to level out or drop a little bit. And then the zero proof is coming into play as well. It seems to be climbing as well as the cannabis in the industry.
This cannabis that's growing in Alberta, do you know where it's growing?
Well, technically, there's some growing across the alley from our shop, but it's a production facility, not the kind of you'd take in the back alley.
Now, when you at the beginning, you started talking about how you started with the liqueurs, and you and your wife were making liqueurs in your home.
Yep.
What kind of a product? Like, what did you have Bunsen burners going? Or like what? But how long before the neighbors started coming over trying to offer to buy it from you?
And I'm not going to say that didn't happen, but that's essentially how we started the business. I was moonshining at home just because I like the science of distilling. I was doing that at home, and we were coming up with a bunch of different flavors, and it ended up being our wedding that we made limoncello for our wedding, and we toured a distillery 2 days after we got married. And they tasted my limoncello and said, if you made this in your father-in-law's kitchen in 2 weeks, you need to go into business. And I was back in Nova Scotia, and we ended up coming back to Alberta, started looking at the legalities of how to get into being a distiller, and just kind of here we are 7 years later.
Reluctantly.
Reluctantly podcast is brought to you by Northern Alberta Heating Limited, specializing in commercial HVAC. And Corey tells me that they are busier than a fox in a chicken coop right now with all the business they can handle and then some. They are looking for motivated, long-term employees who want to work for a great company. Are you an experienced sheet metal worker? Are you looking for a new outfit? A change for the better? Maybe the place you're at isn't the right fit for you. And maybe you know somebody who's an experienced sheet metal worker. Well, let them know about this. Send resumes to tim@northernheating.ca. They're looking for new people, first-year apprentices, second-year apprentices, and younger journeymen. There are also positions for entry-level with training available too. They have work both in and out of Edmonton. If you've got these qualities and qualifications, get your resume together and send it off today. There's jobs awaiting, and that tin ain't gonna bash itself. Email tim@northernheating.ca to kickstart something new or a change for the better.
Reluctantly.
So 7 years in the business, you start out with some of the spirits that don't need to be aged.
Correct. Yeah.
But now you are getting into aged spirits. Is that correct?
I don't have anything barreled down at all.
Oh, you don't?
No, we
Still, because I remember talking
I
to
know.
you this last
That's
year.
I know.
And I
enough shit.
yeah, okay.
It's a busy season for us, or it's a busy market for us, just in what we're doing. And I haven't had a chance to barrel anything down. We do a whiskey product. It's an unaged whiskey. We call it White Flag. It's a bourbon mash, so it's a corn-based mash with wheat and barley incorporated into it as well. It's a really great spirit on its own. We sell it at 43% just as a clear spirit. That at some point will be what we put into a barrel. So we would be doing essentially an Alberta-made bourbon.
Okay.
Without the name bourbon, obviously.
If you're looking for Black Diamond Distillery, the only distillery in St. Albert, located in the Real Business Park. Matter of fact, I'll let the bag out of the cat. We're going to be neighbors soon. I just bought a house in Heritage Lake.
Very cool. Very cool.
So in June, you might be seeing more of me.
Okay.
Some of the other things too. You travel around. Not the Alberta Spirits and Cocktail Fest is not the only place that you're going to be over the course of this spring into the summer.
No, we try to be in front of our customers as much as we can. We do a number of farmers markets and artisan markets. We try to be there in front of the people. We love to do festivals such as this, where we get to be able to interact with people and have people try our stuff right in front of us. It's the best way to market your product as far as we're concerned.
Being in front of people at at markets and this sort of thing here, I also know that you enter your spirits into competitions.
We do.
And are quite well awarded.
They are. Actually, everything on our bar, minus one product, which we have not entered into competition yet, but everything on the bar has been awarded in either the Alberta Beverage Awards or the Canadian Artisan Spirits Competition, which is artisan spirits, only artisan spirits across Canada. And we've got multiple awards for a couple of our different products. Multiple golds as well as best in class.
And locally sourced ingredients and all your...
As close as we can source our ingredients as possible. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what are we looking at here? What are you got the shaker up yet?
Yeah.
I got a feeling I'm not going to be thirsty for long.
Yeah, so I brought a couple of things for you. So the thing in the shaker is it's a watermelon summer heat. It's a cocktail using our hot chili vodka, a watermelon syrup using a natural watermelon extract, so it's not like Jolly Rancher candy watermelon. A little bit of lime juice in there for acidity. So it's a nice little balance between the sweet and the heat. I was inspired by a watermelon salad that Andrea, my wife, had at a golf tournament when we were serving on a hole with Vivo. Greg from Vivo was serving this watermelon salad. She came home and she's like, "It was phenomenal. You need to make it into a cocktail."
Okay.
So this is what we've done.
All right. Do I need to hold your microphone
Sure.
while you're doing this? Okay. All right. And if there's anything you need to explain, it's all about the shake.
Yeah, I'm not a bartender by any stretch, but I can try and shake a cocktail. So again, this one has the watermelon syrup, a little bit of lime juice in there, and our hot chili vodka. So we use Thai chilies to do an infusion on our vodka. So you're going to get a lot of heat, a little bit of heat, but it's also going to get that chili flavor. That was important for us when we did our cocktail. So this is one that we do. Yeah, I'll take that from you. This is one that we do in cans. So this is a canned product that we do tonight. We're shaking it, or this festival, we're shaking it. But it is a cocktail that we do in cans in both the boozy version and in our zero proof version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get the chilies right away.
Yeah, and you should just get a little bit of a tickle on the back of your throat. You don't want anything to blow your socks off in terms of heat. If you want that, you can have a shot of the straight vodka that's hot chili.
Sure.
But try one of our Caesars. Our Caesars are really spicy as well.
Right.
We do a canned Caesar as well.
Very nice. I like that. I mean, I'm a chili guy. I'm a jalapeno guy. So
There you go.
kind of
So we use red Thai chilies when we do our infusion. So you're going to get a ton of the chili flavor. It's kind of a food heat.
Reluctantly.
This podcast is reluctantly sponsored by the real estate team of homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals. If you are buying or selling in the Edmonton area, Shauna and Bonnie can handle everything with strong industry connections to mortgage brokers, home inspectors, lawyers, and contractors to support every step. They can sell your current home and find your new place, whether you're expanding as a family, downsizing as empty nesters, or looking for a commercial space for your growing business. I also know they can help you find your new place in the Edmonton region if you're migrating from Ontario, BC, or any other part of Canada for that matter. I first met Shauna and Bonnie 10 years ago when we were beginning to downsize, and they have been our trusted real estate advisors through buying and selling no less than 6 properties. I've also recommended them to many friends who want real, relatable people with a personalized, hands-on approach. New home, investment, recreational, even commercial. Homegirls.ca is the website. Email info is there, and you can call them at 780-517-HOME.
Reluctantly.
Now, the second cocktail that I brought is something that we're just playing with now. This is brand new. We're just trying it out this weekend and seeing people's reaction. I think it's delicious. I grew up where my grandpa and my uncles sat around the table at the lake, playing cribbage, drinking Crown and ginger ale.
Okay.
It was whiskey and ginger was the drink of choice for my family. So it's got like deep-rooted memory for me. So this is my version of a zero-proof whiskey ginger. So it's a zero-proof whiskey that we're making, and I've just mixed that with a ginger ale. And so have a sample of that. Let me tell you,
It's almost like you shouldn't have told me it's zero proof first, just to see what my reaction was.
Well,
Oh, yes. Well, it tastes
like a whiskey
just
ginger.
like a whiskey ginger.
Yeah, and that was the point. Like, we're not trying to do something that's going to be a whiskey shot or you're drinking it as whiskey on ice. We're sort of making it to be meant to be mixed into a cocktail. We've tried it as a whiskey and coke. It's great. We're going to play with it as a whiskey sour. We've done a couple of different cocktails, but again, haven't played with it much. I just came out with this. It's not even released yet, but I've actually just produced it in the last couple of weeks. Just something I've been thinking about playing with for a little while. There's a market of zero proof or non-alcoholic gins out in the market.
Right.
There's some that are coming out of Europe as well as some locally made in Canada. I figured we'd try and do something a little different than gin.
Very nice. And with the market that's good, there's so many people that the stigma of not having a beverage when they are out with people.
Yeah.
But having a zero proof option is something where there can be, why aren't you drinking?
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Exactly.
People can indulge in the zero proof from all of the different lines, like from this to your gin and like everything you want.
Yeah. We do a zero proof gin cocktail as well. So we have one that's called, we call it my older brother, Ricky. My brother-in-law's name's Rick, and it's a gin Ricky. That's essentially what the cocktail is.
Right.
So we do those in canned products. So again, we've got 6 different cocktails that are zero proof, that are ready to drink.
Yeah.
And like you say, somebody going to a party that's going to be the DD, or maybe she's freshly pregnant and doesn't want to tell her family yet.
Yeah.
She can show up with the black cans of our cocktails, and nobody even knows the difference.
Keeping it a surprise.
Right?
From grandma and grandpa.
You
to
never
me.
know, right?
Very good. BlackDiamondDistillery.com is the website. You do online sales as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go and see them in the Riel Business Park in St. Albert. Locally sourced, small batches, nothing mass produced, and it's all available for you. Whiskey, gin, vodka, and zero proof. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Terrence. Appreciate it.
Reluctantly.
Today's podcast brought to you by homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals, and Northern Alberta Heating. Work in and out of Edmonton. They're looking for sheet metal workers. Resumes to tim@northernheating.ca. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
Reluctantly.